Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. This is the post-game show, and the Miami Heat just annihilated the Los Angeles Lakers 134-93. I am super ecstatic for this huge victory. A big bounce back. The Miami Heat were on a losing streak, and they're back to 500, and the Lakers are the team that I hate the most in the NBA. I hate them more than any of the Miami Heat's actual rivals, like the Celtics or the Knicks in the past or the Sixers or whoever it may be. I am just thrilled with this victory. 41-point victory, the best game of the season by the Miami Heat so far. And I'm so happy it came against the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James. My buddy, who I've known since the 8th grade, was supposed to hop on. He's been on the podcast in the past, and he's a Laker fan, and he was going to hop on. But after they lost by 41 points, he decided not to show up tonight. So I wouldn't show up either. I can't blame him. But hey, those are Faker fans for you. So anyway, Miami Heat crushed the Lakers, and I'm shocked that they won by 41 points. Like, the Miami Heat have had a few blowouts this entire season. I think the last one was a few games ago against the Sixers, but they were injured and depleted. And I think the Lakers were mainly just missing Austin Reeves. That's why D'Lo started tonight, and he looks horrible. And LeBron played really well. I think he's the only person that showed up to work today. So Anthony Davis didn't have a great game either. Probably one of his worst games of the season. But either way, beginning of the game, the Heat were off to a slow start, and LeBron was off to a quick start. He had 6 first quarter points, like immediately. 2 of those were in the paint on layup attempts, and LeBron looked a lot better. He's been struggling of late, especially from 3. He was only 1 for 4 tonight, so still struggled there. But the Heat were sluggish in the beginning, and James was looking good, but that only lasted like the first 3 minutes, where the Heat missed like 4 or 5 easy shots, and they went on a quick 14-0 run, and they were up 17-6 at one point, and then 23-9. Haywood Highsmith got off to a fast start, hit a couple threes in that first quarter, so he was looking good. Miami was looking good in transition off the break. They were playing fast. Jimmy Butler was decisive and aggressive and playmaking, and he looked really good. The Heat were up 25-11, and Bam was also really engaged and looked confident, which was surprising and annoying at the same time because he was playing against Anthony Davis. Even though he didn't have a good offensive game, he's still a really good defender. And Bam just was huge. He had a huge slam dunk in that first quarter, and he was very efficient and was efficient overall. He was 6 for 8 from the field, had 14 points. But yeah, he looked really good. Tyler Herro had a slow start. He only had 2 points in that first quarter. But the second quarter, Tyler Herro, looked a little bit better. He ended up with 10 points in the first half, but we'll talk about what happened later. In the second quarter, the Heat were up 42-29. Bam continued his hot start with 9 points, 6 rebounds, a couple assists. He was 4 for 5 from the field, actually. So looking really confident and fluid. And it was nice to see him be efficient for once, because his field goal percentage is down by like 11% this year, which is not great. Miami offensively, just as a team, they were getting points from everybody. It was a total team effort in that first half specifically. Duncan Robinson chipped in 7 points with a few rebounds. He was hot from the start, 3 for 4 from the field. Bam also continued his path in that second quarter. What did he have? I think he had 14 or 12 of his 14 points by halftime. And LeBron was keeping the Lakers in the game in that second quarter. And when I say that, they were still down 48-33. But LeBron had 18 points with like 6.5, 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. So he was playing really well and aggressive. But Haywood Highsmith continued to hit threes. He had 3 threes in the first half. Jimmy Butler looked really great, like I mentioned, really engaged. He had a really nice steal on Rui Hachimura, and he got the dunk on the other end to put the Miami Heat up 59-42. And Jimmy also in that quarter got to the rack a couple times, and he actually had 3 dunks in the first half, which is just wild to me, especially after he missed the game with that like knee injury. So he looked engaged and he looked aggressive, and he was getting to the rim and finishing at the rim. Herro had 8 points in the second quarter. So again, after a slow start, picked it up in the second quarter. The Heat were shooting very well from three in the second quarter. They were 11 for 22 from 3-point range, which is huge. They average 14 threes per game usually, and they were able to score 11 of those in the first half. He had a lot of unforced turnovers too in that first half. They had 9 turnovers in the first half, but they were still up by 21 points, which is just really crazy. That's how well they were shooting and playing offensively as a unit and as a team. Miami's defense finally looks solid. They're in the passing lanes, getting deflections, rotating really well, guarding the point of attack, and they looked awesome. Jimmy finished off the first half with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 6 for 10 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. He had 1 block and 2 steals. Bam actually did have 14 points, all of his points in the first half. 8 rebounds. He was 6 for 7. He ended up 6 for 8 in the game. LeBron finished the first half with 18 points, 4 assists on 8 for 11 shooting. So again, he was the only person playing well for the Lakers. D'Lo was playing okay in the first half. He had 10 points, but it was on 4 for 10 shooting. No one else, again, like I mentioned, was really helping LeBron James. Heat were shooting 57% from the field in the first half as a team, and 11 for 24 from 3, which is 46%. And the Heat actually out-rebounded the Lakers in that first half 26-13. So going into the third quarter, this is where LeBron started off really hot, and he had 25 points with 8 minutes left to go in that third quarter. So he scored 7 points within the first 4 minutes. And then Herro just erupted. Herro dominated that third quarter, and Tyler Herro had 7 threes in that quarter, was 7 for 7 in the third quarter with 3 minutes left to go in that quarter. So he was 7 for 7, 21 points in that quarter, had 31 points going into the fourth quarter. And the Lakers D was horrible. I'm looking at my notes. All I wrote was in that third quarter, Lakers D sucks. The Heat were up 102-72. They had a 30-point lead after Terry Rozier had a layup, then got an interception, steal, and another layup on the other end. Lakers call timeout. And that's all the notes that I have for the game, because we all saw what happened. The Miami Heat ended up dominating the Lakers. Great team effort. Awesome game. Huge victory for the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are now 10-10. They're still 7th in the East. They're still behind the Hawks, which doesn't sit well with me, but they're 1 game behind like the 5th seed at this point. So really close race in the East. But huge victory. Like I said, anytime you destroy the Lakers, that's a fun time. So going through the box, like I mentioned, Haywood Highsmith played really well. 14 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, 5 for 7 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3. 1 steal. Huge game. Jimmy Butler, 29 minutes. He had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 for 12 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 0 for 1 from the foul line. So he still was efficient and didn't even get to the free throw line. If Jimmy was more, he didn't need to be engaged. Tyler Herro dominated. Bam played really well. Haywood played great. So if they needed Jimmy, if it was a closer game, I'm sure, and Jimmy was playing like this, he would have had 30 points himself. Duncan Robinson had that fast start in the first quarter, but didn't score again in the game. He had 7 points, but 3 assists, 6 assists, 3 for 7 from the field. I'll take it. Tyler Herro dominated. 31, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 11 for 19 from the field, 9 for 16 from 3. Huge game. Bam Adebayo did everything offensively, defensively. He looked great. 14 points, 10 boards, 7 assists, 6 for 8 from the field, 2 for 3 from the line, 1 block, 1 steal. And then Terry Rozier looked good off the bench. 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 for 11 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. He had 1 steal. Hawk has 9 points. Kevin Love, 10, 5, and 4. And then we emptied out the bench, and Thomas Bryant, Drew Smith, Keshaw Johnson got some time. But huge victory for the Miami Heat. Happy we got back in the win column. Tyler Herro is making his case to be an all-star for the first time in his career. And he's looked good, man. He's been healthy, and he's had a couple games where he's had like 17 or 18 points here and there. But he always bounces back. And that's a good sign right now. He's showing growth. He's showing consistency. He's showing that he could stay on the floor for now, which is great. But Tyler Herro, I'm hoping this is his year, and I'm proud of the growth and development for Tyler Herro, for someone who is in the trade machine every single year, in the rumor mill. So he's looking good, man. He's looking like, again, the Miami Heat's best player right now. And this was a huge victory for the Miami Heat. They play against the Suns on Saturday next, and Kevin Durant's hurt, and I think he's missing a week. So he has an ankle injury, and he might not play. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to play if he's actually missing the full week. So that could be huge for the Miami Heat. They need to stack up these victories, get back into the win column, and get above 500 and try to get out of the play-in right now. They're the 7th seed. If the season ended today, they'd be a play-in team for the 3rd time in a row. We don't want that to happen. So let's get a victory against the Suns. Let's stack up these victories. We have a hard schedule. We play the Cavs after that. Then we play the Raptors again, who we split the season with right now so far 1-1. Then we play the Pistons, Thunder, Magic, and Nets, Magic, Hawks, and Rockets. So it's going to be a really, really tough month. Not many easy games. You see Raptors, Pistons. Pistons we beat, but we had close matchups. They're a better team. Raptors already beat us. The Nets, that could be an interesting game too. They're 10 and 13. They're right behind us in the 8th seed. So anyway, that's all I have for today's post game show. If you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.